You know that feeling when you sit down to do something simple, something you've done 100 times before, and your brain just stops. Like there's a wall. Like the gears are turning but nothing is actually moving. You stare at the screen. You read the same sentence 4 times. You open your phone, close it, open it again, and suddenly 20 minutes have passed and you don't even know what you were doing. That's not laziness. That's not weakness. That's your brain sending you a distress signal, and most people spend their entire lives ignoring it. If you've ever ended a day feeling completely exhausted without actually accomplishing anything that mattered to you, this is going to hit you somewhere deep, because what you're experiencing has a name, it has a cause, and it absolutely has a solution that most people never find because they're looking in the wrong places. Here's what's actually happening inside your head. Your brain processes somewhere around 11 million bits of information every single second. Let that number sit for a moment, 11 million. But your conscious mind can only handle about 50% of those bits at once. So your brain is constantly, silently, working overtime behind the scenes, filtering, sorting, deciding what matters and what doesn't. And in today's world, with every notification, every news headline, every conversation, every decision about what to eat or what to wear or what to do first, you are throwing fuel into a fire that was never designed to burn this hot. Scientists call it cognitive overload. But forget the fancy term. What it actually feels like is this. You wake up already tired. You feel behind before the day even begins. Simple decisions feel enormous. You start things and don't finish them. You snap at people you love over nothing. You lie in bed at night with your mind racing about everything you didn't do. And somewhere underneath all of that noise, there's a version of you, a calmer, sharper, more present version that you remember being. Or maybe you've never met them yet, but you know they exist because sometimes, just sometimes, you get a glimpse. That version of you isn't gone. And that's what this is about. Before we go deeper, if any of this is already feeling like something you want to change faster than this video can take you, we have related programs linked down below in the video description that have already helped thousands of people reclaim their mental clarity and completely rewire the way their brain handles pressure. Don't wait until you're running on empty to look at them. The people who benefit most from those resources are the ones who take action before they hit rock bottom, not after. Now back to what's breaking you down. There's a reason your brain feels like a browser with 50 tabs open. Every unfinished task lives in your mind as an open loop. Every worry you haven't resolved. Every conversation you replayed. Every plan you half made. Your brain treats all of those like active files it has to keep running in the background. And when you have dozens of those loops open simultaneously, your processing power crashes. Your focus disappears. Your creativity dries up. Your patience runs out. This isn't metaphorical. Brain imaging studies have actually shown reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, in people experiencing chronic mental overload. Your brain is physically functioning differently when it's overwhelmed. And here's what makes it worse. Most of the strategies people try don't fix this at the source. They just add more things to do. Download this app, try this planner, wake up at 5, cold showers, journaling every morning. And those things might work for some people in some seasons of life, but if your nervous system is still stuck in a constant state of low-grade threat response, none of those surface-level fixes will hold. You'll feel better for a week and then crash right back into the same fog. The real fix starts with understanding that your brain has 2 operating modes. One is a threat response mode, sometimes called the survival state, where your brain is scanning for danger, managing stress, conserving energy, and making you feel like everything is urgent and nothing is safe. The other is a growth state, where your brain is creative, calm, connected, able to learn, able to feel joy, able to think clearly. The problem is that most people today are spending the majority of their waking hours stuck in that first mode without realizing it. And you cannot think your way out of a nervous system state. You have to physically shift it. Researchers have found that even short periods of deliberate, intentional stillness, where you're not consuming, not producing, not solving, just breathing and being present, can measurably reduce cortisol levels within minutes. People who build this practice consistently report sleeping better, making decisions more easily, feeling less reactive, and experiencing what many describe as finally being able to hear themselves think again. That's not a small thing. That's everything. Because when you can hear yourself think, you make better choices. When you make better choices, your relationships improve. When your relationships improve, your emotional baseline rises. When your emotional baseline rises, your work gets better. When your work gets better, your confidence grows. And when your confidence grows, you stop operating from fear and you start operating from possibility. The entire trajectory of your life shifts when you fix this one thing. People who have done the deep work to resolve chronic mental overload describe it in ways that are almost hard to believe until you feel it yourself. They say things like, I used to spend 3 hours doing something that now takes me 45 minutes. I used to dread mornings and now I actually look forward to them. I used to feel like I was always behind, and now I feel like I have more time than I need. I used to be someone who forgot everything, and now I feel mentally sharp in a way I haven't since I was a kid. These aren't exaggerations. These are what happens when the brain stops running in emergency mode and starts running the way it was designed to. Now here's something important. If you watched this far and thought, yeah, but that's probably for other people who have more time, more resources, more of whatever it is they have, I want to talk directly to that thought. The people who say that are usually the ones who need this most. The more impossible it feels, the more evidence that is that your nervous system is already deep in overload. You don't need perfect circumstances to start. You need one real decision that your mental health is worth prioritizing, and you probably already know that. You've known it for a while. The question is whether today is the day you stop knowing it and start doing something about it. Here's one thing you can do right now. Before your next task, take 90 seconds. Sit still, breathe slowly. Don't look at your phone. Don't think about your to-do list. Just breathe. This sounds laughably simple, and that's exactly why most people skip it. But those 90 seconds done with real intention begin the process of shifting your nervous system out of survival mode. That's not a trick. That's biology. Then, pay attention to what happens when you try to focus after that pause. Notice if it feels even slightly different. Notice if the wall is a little lower. Because that noticing is the beginning of awareness, and awareness is where all real change starts. You didn't get here overnight. The overload built up slowly, layer by layer, year by year. And it's going to take consistent, intentional effort to reverse it. But it reverses. That's the part I need you to hold on to. It reverses. If you're ready to go beyond what a single video can give you. If you want a structured path forward that meets you where you are and actually moves you from where you are to where you want to be, look at the programs linked down below in the video description right now. Not tomorrow. Not after you finish whatever else is on your plate. Now. Because every day you wait is another day living in the fog when clarity is already available to you. People who take that step consistently say they wish they had done it sooner. The only thing worse than feeling this way today is still feeling this way a year from now when you had the chance to change it. Your brain was built for so much more than survival. It's time to let it prove that to you.